Hello everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome back to the Syntax Byte. Over the holidays, I was playing some Payday with my family. Payday is a board game, and I thought it was a really interesting opportunity to do a brief bit on expected value, which is a statistical concept. So essentially, in Payday, you have this lottery, and I found out kind of as I was playing, I had a hunch, and I did later crunch the numbers on this and find out that it's true. You should always play the lottery in Payday, which is very counterintuitive to real life. Please do not take this as real life advice, me saying you should go play the lottery. This is just for educational purposes. However, in this board game Payday, you should always play the lottery because it's a positive expected value. Now, what is expected value? Expected value is essentially the weighted average of the possible, outcomes. There's a number of different definitions online. I couldn't find one that I really liked, but at the end of the day, the expected value, if it's positive, means that over the long run, over several trials, you should win money playing the lottery. If it's negative, that means that you might win money one time. Over the long run, this isn't going to be a profitable venture for you. So in that case, it'd probably be best just to abstain from playing the lottery. And so it's important to note, we'll talk a little bit about this towards the end of the video. When you're using expected value to make a decision, you probably want that to be a decision that you're going to make several times. So in my case, as I was playing the game, there were several chances to play the lottery. But without further ado, let's just jump in here. So talking about the game rules of the game that we're going to be discussing, just this lottery space. Of course, we won't discuss the rules of Payday itself, but you land on the lottery space and a lottery begins. The bank first antes up $1,000, and then each player may optionally ante an additional $100 to the pot. So if you choose to play the lottery, you are putting $100 in the pot, and then you're in the lottery. You have a shot at winning. Then, starting with the player who landed on the space, each player who anteed in turn picks a different number from 1 to 6. Of course, each number on a die has an equivalent chance of being picked, so just pick a number. I liked to be consistent with mine, just so I knew clearly if it landed on my space or not, and I wasn't getting confused. Then the player who landed on the lottery space rolls the die, and the player whose number is rolled collects all the money. So these are the rules as from the Payday Wikipedia page. Unfortunately, they did not list their original source, so I have sourced them, but these do line up with the rules that were available in the rules book for the game. Now, I've added a quick note here. If no player's number is chosen, re-roll until a player's number is chosen. So if there's 2 of you playing the game, you have a 1 in 2 chance, not a 1 in 6 chance of being chosen. All right, so what is the expected value of the lottery and why should you play it? Okay, so the expected value of playing the lottery with 2 players is roughly $500. That means that on average, if you played the lottery several times over with 2 players, each player would end up with $500. Now, of course, where's this extra money coming from? It's coming from the bank. The bank is anteing $1,000, and this is kind of one of the things where this is what causes the lottery to be a positive expected value over the long run for both players and for anyone who's in the game. So it's really the bank that's losing the money here and providing that positive expected value capability. But essentially, you just take 50% chance of winning plus the difference between what you would have if you didn't play versus what you would have if you did play would be $1,100. Okay, so there's $1,000 put in by the bank, $100 put in by each player. But of course, the difference as to if you had not played, if you had not played, you would still have your $100. So you can't really count that as a winnings. That's just you got that back, and then you won the $1,100. Your chance of losing is also 50%, and if you lose, you just lose your $100. Nothing else happens. So 50-50 chance here, but significantly better outcome if you win than if you lose. So it's a positive expected value of $500. Now this whittles away, so you look at 3 players, okay, you only have a third of a shot. You do have a slightly higher winnings, but this whittles it down to like 333. You go to 4, now you're at 250. You go to 5, you're at 200. And you go to 6, you're at 166. And of course, these are now all the outcomes. That's the maximum number of players that could play the lottery. 6, there's 6 numbers on a die, so that is the absolute maximum. So in all cases here, the expected value for the lottery is positive. And you could use this same type of framework to evaluate, lottery rules in other games and see if over time you would want to play the lottery. Now, like I mentioned before, there are a couple caveats to this particular method of determining whether to play the lottery. For one, if you only had one chance to play the lottery, then, for a lot of these cases, you still may not want to. For instance, if you had 6 players, you only have a 16% chance of winning. So even though it is positive expected value over the long run, over several trials, you should make money. It's not that much money, and that there's a significant risk that you lose. You're a lot more likely to lose on one individual play. So you may say, hey, even though I know that this has a positive expected value, I'm not going to play because I only have one shot at it. So in this particular game, I believe I had the chance to play about 10 times, so it definitely made sense for me to play the lottery and try to get at that positive expected value. And I was playing with 3 players, so typically one of the players would sometimes not go in, so sometimes at $500 EV, sometimes at a $333 EV, but generally it was pretty good. So it was a good way to make some additional money, and not all players in board games will be aware of these types of simple analysis, and they'll flake out on the lottery because they don't want to lose money, and they're worried about it. But in reality, if they just kept playing the lottery consistently, they would make money over time. So yeah, that's essentially all I wanted to share today. This is a bit of a different video. Normally I do programming videos on this channel, but I thought this was a really interesting, simple example that you can put to use if you're playing board games with your family, of how to use expected value to make better decisions when you're playing board games. So I hope it was helpful, guys. Definitely drop a like on the video if you found that interesting, and let me know if you guys want me to do more of these types of analysis. I think it'd be kind of interesting to do some more board game strategies and analysis like that. So let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in seeing on this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, guys.